Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, I'm Victor Lucas, and you are watching EPN. Welcome to the very first episode of the brand new season of EP Live. And you may have noticed that there's something a little bit different going on here. We've got a brand new environment. We have partnered with the Vancouver Film School, and we are set up in a cafe space that they have. It's the VFS Cafe. The address is 390 West Hastings in Vancouver. And yes, we do have a live audience in the room right now. Thank you for coming out, everybody. This is incredible. We've never done anything like this before, but the moment that we started EP Live last year, I thought, you know, maybe this can evolve into something. Maybe we could work this out, that we could open it up to people in the community and in the city, that they could come and watch the show, and then we could bring in some really cool guests and kind of celebrate all the incredible creativity that passes through Vancouver or is based right out of Vancouver. And I thought EP could be a really good home for that. And honestly, I created the name The Electric Playground with the idea that maybe one day we would have a destination that people could come to. And that's a shout out to Much Music and their space on Queen Street from way back in the day, which became this great space in Toronto that everybody in Canada knew about. So we've got a space now, and we are going to have all kinds of cool guests that are going to be coming to the show, and I am super pumped about that. We have got a great show today, of course. It's our first one, and we've kind of hit the ground running because we've had to put all of these pieces together and put the new set and the new graphics. It's taken a lot of work from a lot of people, and I have to give some big thank yous to all of the folks, all of our friends at Vancouver Film School, including the staff and the people here at the VFS Cafe who have had to put up with us moving stuff in and wiring and testing sound and testing all of our video feeds and all that stuff. It's been a little bit like, what's happening? But we're here, and we're very excited with that, and we're very excited to be partnered with the VFS facilities because this school is incredible. They produce game makers and filmmakers and animators, and we're going to find out a little bit more about that with our first guest, Christopher Bennett, when he comes out a bit later. But first, we're going to get into the rundown, and I want to invite my guest host for this episode. He's my very good friend, Johnny Millennium, who comes to us from Happy Console Gamer. Come on up, Johnny. Don't step on any of the wires.
I'm trying not to.
Yay!
Wow. Thank
Johnny!
you. Thank you.
Woo, Johnny Millennium.
A live crowd.
Wow, we are here.
I gotta say, look at this set. Isn't this set amazing?
I'm seeing it on the stream for the first time. It actually looks pretty good.
I really need to up the ante on my own show. I mean, this is putting me to shame here, 100%. But fantastic stuff.
Our art director Tavis Dunn did all the new graphics, and he designed our backdrop. And I wanted him to do something that kind of incorporated a lot of our history. Because obviously we've done EP in a bunch of different, varietals. You can kind of pick your flavor of EP from over the years. Yeah. But we've never done it like this. So we've got
all the different logos.
Some Easter eggs, on the buildings back there.
I've seen them all. It's
and
great.
We've got the whole new graphic intro and all that stuff. But Tavis, he did an amazing job. And our friend and our former DOP, Richard Grundy, actually came in and lit us all up and stuff. So Richard and Tavis, huge thank yous there. But honestly, I want everybody in this room to give, and everybody at home too, we're watching you guys. We're watching you. Big round of applause for Blake Siefkin. I could not do this with anybody else besides Blake. He is an amazing collaborator, and I keep throwing crazy ideas at him, and he goes, okay. All right, we'll do that. And so we're doing this. But we are going to start with our rundown.
Right.
That's, I think, enough thank yous for at least these 5 minutes, right? Yeah, we'll get back to some more thank yous in a bit. But let's start with the rundown. And, of course, the big news right now is after months of rumors, Gotham City has officially stepped up to say that they need a new Caped Crusader. Batman vs. Superman and Justice League star Ben Affleck is officially stepping aside from the role of Batman in the DC movie universe. Affleck and Warner Brothers have both announced that the upcoming Batman solo movie, directed by Cloverfield and Apes veteran Matt Reeves, will focus on a younger version of the character, with Affleck being replaced by a new and younger actor in the lead role. No word yet on who might replace him, but we do know that the movie will hit theaters on June 25th, 2021. There's always a chance that Affleck could return as the older Bruce Wayne at some point in the future. Did you like Affleck as Batman?
He's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have that much of a problem. I'm more of a Michael Keaton guy. You know,
Yeah.
I would have liked to see Michael Keaton do a Dark Knight.
Well,
set in the future. For sure.
There's this internet buzz right now about Michael Keaton getting to do Batman Beyond and playing an older Bruce Wayne
That
and
would be
focusing on
amazing.
a younger Terry McGinnis.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I mean, they're full on with the Batman that Matt Reeves is going to do. And Matt Reeves worked on Cloverfield and the Planet of the Apes trilogy,
which are amazing.
Incredible director, so talented, and he's going to make something I think really fresh. He's going to make the movie about the detective roots of Batman. And as someone that has grown up with Batman and has read the books, from the '60s forward, I used to collect all of these issues. And
Detective Comics. That's
I
what
love
it's
them.
called. Yeah,
exactly. He's the
yeah.
world's greatest detective, and so that's what he's going to focus on. And so, of course, Batman's my favorite character. He's
I know that, Vic.
I have many Batmans in my collection.
Just a few.
So
at least 20.
I'm super excited about who they're going to cast here, and the name that keeps popping up in my mind is Armie Hammer. That's the guy that I think he played the Lone Ranger, which was not a good movie, but he's a terrific actor, and he actually has. I think he was cast as Batman in George Miller's Justice League.
Is there some rumors he's going to be in this, or is it just your wishful thinking here?
When you search who's going to be the next Batman, he's the guy that keeps popping up all over the place. Yeah. Another interesting choice is somebody like Michael B. Jordan, who just killed it in Black Panther. Obviously, kind of a different look for Batman, but I think that guy is such a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
And he's commanding with such presence. I think he would nail it. Everything I've seen with Michael B. Jordan, he's just killed
and
it.
you did a little thing on Twitter, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And
let me
I want
open
to see
that
who's
up.
winning.
Yeah,
I want to see who's winning. A little poll to see who the next Batman should be.
You can be a little cheeky with those polls, and that's what I did. I said, who should be the next Batman? Armie Hammer, Michael B. Jordan, Liam Hemsworth, who's the younger Hemsworth. There's about 19 Hemsworth brothers.
Yeah.
And this is one of the younger ones, but he's solid. He's a good actor.
I am liking the last choice, and the last choice is winning right now.
Last choice is your mom. So right now,
Perfect.
more people want your mom to be Batman than Armie Hammer. So that
my
might
mom
be...
would make a good Batman.
Yes.
Short little British Yorkshire lady. She'd be amazing. I'm gonna get you, Joker.
Clean up your room.
She has the old smoker's cough going on as well.
Oh, does she really?
Well, yeah. She smoked for many years. She's quit now.
Needs
She's
an
good.
inhaler.
Yeah,
Clean up your room, Johnny. I love it.
She does say that when she comes over to visit.
I love it.
For sure.
Well, we are going to find out about, obviously who the new Batman is going to be. I still remember when they announced Affleck, and he was still coming off of all of the J-Lo kind of hype, like there was all the...
He was kind of a hot actor in Hollywood at that point, yeah.
But he was so famous and so in the gossip magazines like crazy, and I think that was the tough thing for me. I can only speak for myself, but when I saw it, it was like, this is just going to feel like cosplay. He's just going to look like he's putting on the suit. We all know him. We know how he speaks. We know how he's in the news so much that he can't really inhabit that role. But he actually surprised me. He was actually pretty good
he did
as
not
Batman.
want to be a part of it anymore. He just had enough. It was like it wasn't turning out quite the way he wanted.
Yeah.
With the entire series and all
Yeah.
that, a lot of negativity.
We've all seen the sad Batman meme that went out there when
Yeah,
he's sitting
course.
next to Henry Cavill, and it's all crap.
classic.
Yeah, and I think physically he could do this. And maybe he will be the guy that they come back with and say, we're going to make you the Dark Knight Returns and a Frank Miller kind of a thing. Yeah, he's still got the gravitas.
Make it Michael Keaton for that role.
I think we want to forget about all the other BS and just believe in our Batman, right? We want it to feel like Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man and Chris Hemsworth as Thor. And
how about a Batman that lasts for longer than a few years?
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm psyched on Matt Reeves' take that this is going to be really focused on the character and really focused on making it a story about him and being interesting.
Look at the worlds he's created. Like,
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes was unbelievable.
Yeah.
What he could do with the Batman universe is something exciting, something to look forward to for sure.
Absolutely. Well, DCEU is, as we know, in going through some crazy stuff, right? Aquaman has now officially become the highest grossing...
$1 billion, yeah?
Yeah, but bigger than The Dark Knight Rises, bigger than bigger than anything that they've made so far.
Who would have thought that when we saw that at Christmas time? It was such a crazy movie that it would become that big. I thought it was going to bomb, but
it did
hey,
huge
that's kinda
numbers
cool.
overseas. Yeah, and it is cool, right? I'm happy for Jason Momoa and for James Wan. But it's a very different take than how the DCEU has started, and so I think behind the scenes there's all kinds of shuffling and trying to figure it out. They've teased the Birds of Prey movie with Harley Quinn. It looks like James Gunn is going to direct the Suicide Squad 2 film. He's not going to be back for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but they're putting him
it's so
there.
sad. Yeah.
Which
It's
is
a whole other conversation.
which is nuts.
Yeah.
But this is their cornerstone. They have to get this right, and I think that everybody at Warner Brothers and DC really understands that. They've got to build something that he has to be the sort of the groundwork for whatever becomes of the DC
The detective
movie
thing,
universe.
going back to the roots, as you said before. Yeah. So I think he's the best director for this.
Yeah, fantastic director.
Without question.
And then they got to solve their Superman problem because it doesn't look like Cavill's going to come back. Henry Cavill is going to come back as Superman, and he was fine.
Yeah.
But I think they're solving it slowly by slow. And the cool thing that Affleck did, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but he tweeted out and said that he's really looking forward to seeing the new Batman movie that Matt Reeves is going to put out in 2021.
Of course.
So he did the classy hat tip, sort of recognizing that maybe he's got to pass the torch and
You
stuff.
got to do that. You got to be that person.
Yes.
You can't be anything else.
Yeah, so psyched to read it in your comments and, replies to the tweets and all that stuff. I want to hear your choices on who Batman should be if you had your dreams fulfilled. I'm still rooting for Armie Hammer. When I think about it, I think that guy would be great. But definitely want to hear what you guys all have to say. Right now, though, we're going to throw it to This Day in Everything Cool. Welcome to This Day in Everything Cool for February 1st. On this day in 1986, Batman was reborn. The first issue of the seminal Batman comic series, The Dark Knight Returns, hit shelves everywhere. Written by Frank Miller, the book gave readers a darker and more serious version of Batman than many were expecting, with a thought-provoking and complex narrative unfolding across a total of 4 issues published throughout the year. The Dark Knight Returns helped set the tone of pretty much every Batman comic since, and also influenced the first big-screen Batman movie, which came out just a few years later. Batman has never been the same since. February 1st, 1988 is an important day for one of the most popular video games of all time because it was when Tetris was first released in the US. It was published on the Commodore 64 and personal computers thanks to a complex licensing deal between an American company and the game's creator, Russian game designer Alexei Pajitnov. At the time, it was difficult and even dangerous for a Russian to release such a financially successful game in the capitalist world because the Soviet Union wouldn't fall for another few years. Thankfully for him, Tetris was a huge hit, with its simple yet addictive nature making it something that people still play to this day. It's since been ported to literally hundreds of different platforms, with new versions coming out all the time, and it didn't even need microtransactions. This next one isn't exactly cool, but it's important to mention. On February 1st, 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrated during the re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, tragically killing all 7 astronauts on board. The accident was a result of a faulty piece of foam insulation on the outside of the shuttle that broke off, causing the whole ship to overheat. Columbia was one of the deadliest space disasters in human history, and it recalled the similar Space Shuttle Challenger disaster, which blew up shortly after takeoff, killing all 7 of its astronauts in 1986. This just goes to show how dangerous spaceflight really is, where one little thing that goes wrong can cause a chain reaction that can destroy an entire ship, and it also goes to show just how brave our planet's astronauts are. Lots of cool things happen every day, and This Day in Everything Cool is definitely continuing throughout 2019. But now it's time for our first guest on the program. He is the executive producer at the Vancouver Film School and a great friend of mine. We've collaborated on many things over the years. Please welcome Christopher Bennett to the show. Come on out, my friend. Yay!
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
I see
appreciate
you knew we were going to talk about Batman and the DC universe. You wore your Superman jacket.
I took an extra job at Starbucks just to afford this so I could wear it on your show today.
This guy
awesome.
has the best hair ever.
Yeah.
He should be playing
Yeah.
Superman.
He's got better hair than me, and that's the new rule that nobody with better hair than me is allowed on the show anymore. No, it's fantastic
Thank
to
you
have
for having me, guys.
This is awesome. One thing we didn't mention with Johnny on the show here is that he actually went to the Vancouver Film School as well. And
Back in the
Proud
day.
alumni.
Yeah, 20 years ago,
Yes.
1999.
where they taught you how to be a YouTube superstar?
No,
At
a
VFX?
classic animator, storyboarder, and I ended up using those things years later.
Yes.
100%. But I was here last night, and you were doing the setup, and I ran into one of my teachers I hadn't seen in 20 years.
That's amazing.
I love that your teacher was still there and you ran into it. How did that go?
It was great, yeah. He
Yeah.
taught the history of animation back then, and he's still doing it now, all these years later. And we talked about what the 90s was like, VFS to now.
It's a
And
cool place,
It's
right?
a really cool
Yeah,
place,
it's a
yeah.
You know what I think we should do? I think we should just keep adding people. And so by the end of it, it'll be
Everybody's
like
gonna be
it'll look
behind.
like a
That's all
movie
you have to do.
poster
That's all
with
you
some
have to do.
faces that are bigger and some faces that are small. That'll be amazing.
100%.
All right, so Vancouver Film School, encapsulate it for us, because it's not just you learn how to make movies here, right? There's a lot of stuff going on.
No, it's we are it's a real privilege to have Electric Playground here. For 30 years, the school has been doing everything that they can to be at the forefront of new film and television and animation content and technology. And so, we've often viewed ourselves as that birthplace of really extraordinary creative thinking. Mm-hmm. To get Electric Playground here, Vic, that's a really big deal for us. To bring such an iconic show. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was 17 years old the first time I ever saw Electric Playground on television. And it lit me up, and it became this staple in my home. And to imagine that this many years later it would be on campus with a whole new generation of storytellers and creative thinkers, it's a really cool thing, man. And I think for us, we're really honored to have you. And it really means a lot to us. So it's a cool thing. Are you having a good time with it?
Well, you know what I have always thought and talked about with you over the years is that I've made a real effort to keep EP about creativity and about people that make these things. And the mission has always been to travel and talk to these people and find out who they were. And a platform like VFS, and we've collaborated on other things like pitch and play events and stuff. And I've done some hanging around in the school. It just is. It feels like a perfect fit, It feels like a great way to kind of engage with people that might be attending the school or teachers that might be here that have friends that are in the professional world.
For sure.
Lots of ways to cross over.
I think for every generation that loves video games and films, all of it, it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think you have always been the ambassador of great stories. And I think one of the funnest parts of hanging out with Vic, and you know this better than anybody, is wherever you're going from A to B, someone wants to stop and talk. My favorite thing now is there's a whole new generation. Some of them stop and they go, "Oh my God, that's Victor Lucas," and they want to get a picture or they want to chat and they interrupt you, and that's a lot of fun. And then there's a whole other generation like, "I don't know who you are, but I know you're famous. I've seen you on TV. Can I have a picture anyway?"
When we're at the security guards know, because they're used to him filming all over the city.
And they don't even know. And I think
excuse me, you have to break down your cameras and leave, please.
I get such a kick out of that because I think all of them know you as being a really iconic visage of the storytelling. And only you could be so enthusiastic about Aquaman. Yeah. I mean, what a ridiculous movie.
It
was so crazy.
Yeah, it was fun, and I think you bring that fun into everything. But I think you also bring the commitment to whether you critically, celebrate it or the opposite. Yeah. You really celebrate the storytelling element of it, and that's what's been for us as a film school a real honor to have you.
Oh well, thank you, thank you so much.
And I also think it's another way to give back to the city.
Yeah,
because people can come in here today.
Yes,
we can meet and interact and learn a lot about a lot of different things. It's fantastic.
You deserve a key to the city.
Listen.
Yes.
To Canada.
To
Canada. Yeah.
We should do it.
Yeah.
I am just happy to be able to do what I do. I've had lots of incredible opportunities in my career, but the thing that gives me a lot of joy, because I'm crazy with wanting to build things too. I've always had this, I want to create things and send them out. So I totally respect that about other creators, and I love talking to these people because they're nuts, they've got a crazy dream and they're chasing a dream, and they don't know if it's going to work, but and I'm always acutely aware of that, and I think that's the best of us. That's why we exist as humans. It's not just to 100%. Fill a slot; it's to be engaged and entertained and live, and I think
you have to be that way.
Yeah, and the motto is play forever, and I came up with it a few years ago, but I keep saying that's what I'm doing now. That's my life now. It's I just want to recognize the value of playing for as long as possible, and being free to escape and imagine. And
it doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. Everybody's invited into that space.
Absolutely.
Let me interrupt your flow for a minute because I have a bunch of Victor Lucas questions I want to ask.
Okay.
No one ever asks on their show.
Okay.
Unscripted. Okay. Number one, I've known Vic and I've been friends with Vic for many years. When he shows up on my PlayStation network, interestingly, he disappears very quickly. Is it hard for you to go onto PlayStation knowing that everyone wants you to play in their game?
Well,
how do you get around
I
that?
turn off the notifications.
Oh.
Yeah, on the
And
game.
is it because I had somebody the other day tell me they were in a game with Victor Lucas.
Oh,
and I went,
jeez.
what? They were playing Just Cause 4.
Okay.
And they said, yeah. And Victor Lucas showed up, and we played it with Victor Lucas. And I went, that's amazing. And they told me this crazy story. Do you feel like you kind of have to game with everybody?
I love when I have the time to do that. I think it's awesome. And we're going to be able to do that here live. I mean, one of the goals is
That's
to
awesome.
to let's play and chat, but I want to be able to invite people. I don't know if we're going to have time for that today because we have a lot of conversations, but
Of course.
that will be something that we'll do. So if you come down, I not only want to give you the opportunity to watch the show, but to play games maybe a little bit early, and we're going to have developers in here that will show off some stuff that maybe not the whole public has got
It's
access
kind of like
to.
being in a boy band,
Yeah.
and you show up just outside some girl's birthday party.
Yeah.
You kind of got to pop in and sing a happy
Oh,
birthday.
okay. All right.
Yeah, just remember, you're
Okay.
a big deal on those networks.
Well, I
Yeah.
love, I get a lot of nice comments from people that have been watching the shows for a while. And, I hope you dig that. Here's media has changed, like I had the awesome break to be on television, and it was, not a million different ways that people could reach people. So I had this fantastic platform, but media has changed over the years.
Sure.
And we've had to kind of evolve and learn new things. And this whole new idea of creating live content in a live space is, us trying something brand new and cool, And
Is it still fun for you when you think back like 10, 20, 30, almost 30 years later? Does it feel like the beginning?
It gets more fun, and I appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all the conversations that I have. And now I feel like we've got this opportunity to provide a space and a different kind of platform that's very unique. There really isn't a live show like this in probably that. I don't know if there's any other city in North America
awesome.
where people can come in. That
I wish everyone could see that. This is unbelievable.
it's a great space, and
Yeah.
the minute that you showed me this, and we did a tour about a year ago, I went, wow, this could be.
We
really,
love having you.
This could be a really fun environment for sure. So that's what the goal is.
Absolutely, we love having you. Thanks for doing it, and the whole school, the whole faculty,
That's
the
awesome.
student body. We're with you, man. Let's do another 25 years, man.
Let's do it. Yes, and let's invite people to watch and invite
Yeah,
people to
yeah,
come out. Yeah, that's so awesome. Okay, we have another couple of guests that are going to come up and join us right now, and they're going to tell us about something that just happened for the first time here at the Vancouver Film School. We didn't really plan this show to be all about VFS, but it kind of fits.
We'll take it.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
take
take it.
It's the
Yeah.
first show, so let's talk
cool.
a little bit about it. So I'm going to ask you guys to free up the seats.
Thank you so much. We'll catch you
you.
another time.
I'll
Absolutely.
see you in a little bit.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll have Johnny back out in a second here. But come on out, George and Susie, who work with the Global Game Jam, and you guys just had an event just this past weekend. And I was, had it not been crazy town trying to set all of this stuff up, I probably would have attended and come to watch some of the stuff live and in person. But congratulations.
Thank you.
How did it go?
It was amazing.
Yeah?
Actually, I'll let Susie talk about how the committee got started.
Okay, so I was volunteer and staff for Global Game Jam.
Yep.
And I started a group for artists to bring artists to the teams that only had programmers. 'Cause
Yeah.
There was a lack of that.
Mm-hmm.
But then they told me like a few months earlier that Global Game Jam can't happen this year because they're understaffed.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, now I have to tell my group that we won't be able to do that for this year. But while I was informing them that what's happening, I heard that some of my artists, especially one particular girl who came from Mexico
Yeah.
to come here for Vancouver Global Game Jam, and she wanted to stream with her friends to participate there. And I heard that story. I was like, you know what? Let's organize it for them. And I decided to start forming a new committee.
Yep.
And I roped in George and BC Game Jam to come and help. And I started contacting and asking everywhere.
At VFS was the place that
Yeah.
ended up being the home for the Global Game Jam for the first time.
For the
Yes,
first time.
for the first
And
time.
we are very thankful of Christopher Bennett.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing for running a game jam is the space
Yeah.
to have that game
Yes.
jam in.
Yeah.
And we were running around with a short amount of time to get the event running, looking for a space that can fit as many people as VFS was able to do.
That's fantastic. Okay, there's got to be a few people out there that may not know what a game jam is. So one of you tell us what it is?
So a game jam is basically a challenge for game developers. For 48 hours, they are going to be developing a game from ideation, so nothing at all.
Right.
And then working together with a team that maybe they've met beforehand or a team that they met during the jam. And then from there, spend lots of hours, lots of coffee, lots of Red Bull. And by the end of it, they'll have a game that they can be proud of, show it to the rest of the people that all went and suffered through 48 hours of very, very much achievement. Oh,
They're
yeah.
basically in crunch. So what are we showing right now? What's this game?
This is one of the games that we have. It's called Temporine.
Okay.
It's because Global Game Jam at the beginning of it has a theme.
Yeah.
And the theme this year is, what does home mean to you?
Okay.
And for this person, what home means to them was the tempura cooking
that's
and
crazy.
the feeling that it has when you eat.
What do you find from the people that attend and are part of the game jam? Do they want to know the team members, or is it more fun for them to just be thrown into it and find that group and build something?
I would say that's a mix.
Yeah.
So for a lot of students, they like to actually go together. Like, for example, VFS students were there, and they made teams together with other VFS students.
That's great.
Just because they've been working together and they can work more smoothly.
Awesome. So the public can come, and the developers are at every level. Like, some are pro developers that work in big studios, and some are indie developers, and some are totally brand new. Is that the way it works?
For the attendees, most of them are actually students, because that's where we advertise to for most of the Global Game Jam, UBC, SFU.
Okay.
And what's encouraged is that you don't need experience.
Yeah.
Definitely. The whole point is to leap in there.
Yeah.
And try something new, do something you're comfortable with,
Cool.
but learn and meet people, network, practice your problem-solving skills, because you're just there for the challenge.
Awesome. Have we seen anything come out of the game jam that ends up becoming a commercial product?
There is actually, you can go into Global. Actually, if you go on Steam, when Global Game Jam was happening, they put on sale a lot of the Global Game Jam games that came out and ended up in Steam.
That is amazing. Okay, so we've got another game jam coming, but it's a BC-related one, so not everybody that's watching the stream can come out and attend, but when is that one coming up?
So we have BC Game Jam that's going to be happening in February 15 to 17.
Okay.
And funny thing about it is the people that started BC Game Jam, actually we met for the first time at Global Game Jam years before.
Oh, wow, okay.
So that's a little tie-in to Global Game Jam for us.
Okay, and the Global Game Jam, which takes place in cities everywhere, it's a huge event all over the world, right? The next one isn't until next year, but people should put it on their calendar if they want to come out and see it.
Next year, that's going to be happening in January 31st to February 2nd. And there are many different venues that you can go to for Global Game Jam.
Yep.
Global Game Jam Vancouver is one of them.
Okay.
And there's two more around here in Vancouver that I know of right now.
Okay.
We have the Global Game Jam VR that focuses on VR games.
Yep.
And we have one as well in LaSalle College.
Right on. That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming by and telling us about the Game Jam, and continued success. And we'll see you at the BC one.
It's great to meet you.
Great to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thanks for being on EP Live.
Yeah, I really enjoyed EP Live, EP in general, because it actually helped me stay updated with the industry when I was freelancing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm getting a lot of love here today. I like this.
Shower
We
is
just
love.
keep that coming. I like that very much. All right, we're going to throw to a buried treasure right now. Cool. Thank you, guys. Today's buried treasure suggestion comes to us from Blair Farrell, Blarcade on Twitter. He has a great one. It's Captain America Super Soldier, which came out for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, developed by Next Level Games. I'm sure I've given some love to this game over the years because it is a terrific superhero game. You guys know how I feel about superhero games. Captain America is definitely lifting from a lot of the lessons learned by playing the Arkham games. A very cool experience. Obviously, it's all about shield mechanics and the fisticuffs and the hand-to-hand combat that Cap is capable of. You take down all kinds of Nazis, which have been kind of watered down. They're not like nefarious Call of Duty type Nazis, but it was still a lot of fun to punch all those Nazis in the face and to throw your shield and knock a whole bunch of them down. Of course, they get cooler weapons as you progress through the game, and they get a little tougher to take down, which makes it a much more enjoyable thing when you are able to. I remember having a big smile when I played this. It certainly dives right into the jingoistic patriotism, the hoorah kind of beauty, I think, of the Captain America myth, and which was exemplified by the first Captain America, First Avenger movie, which I love. And I thought this game was a great accompaniment to it. And I was just disappointed that Next Level didn't really get a chance to keep going with this. Sega was scattering the chips around the table there. They had an Iron Man game and a Hulk game, and none of these things were really paying off for them. And I think out of all of them, Cap was the most satisfying of Sega's ventures into its partnership with Marvel. And it's still worth your time today. Even years later, it's still worth hunting down and playing this game. If you're a Captain America fan like I am, I think you're going to have a big old smile on your face. Captain America Super Soldier is absolutely a buried treasure. Love you, Next Level Games. That was a very cool game that not enough people played and talked about. They never got a chance to make more of those.
I never played it.
Such a cool game.
Really?
Yes. Johnny is back, and let's talk a little bit about January. We're February 1 now, but we've had a busy month. Yeah. We've played some pretty damn cool games.
Resident Evil, the remake.
Yes.
Have you guys been playing it? Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable game. 10 out of 10 game. I haven't said that.
I gave it a 9. You give it a 10, though. You freaking love it. Yeah.
10 out of 10 game.
Okay.
We talked about it last night.
Yes.
I understand your point of view on it, but
yes.
I just think it's an incredible game.
They did an amazing
They took the
job.
original game and they added so much more to it,
Yep.
fleshed it out. And
Yep.
Yeah, you got a couple of different playthroughs to do. People were getting mad at me. I got to say this, that I didn't play it on hardcore mode first. Talk about gatekeeping, with difficulty. I said I was playing a medium.
Yeah,
people are like, "Oh, you're not a real gamer."
It's hard enough on
It
normal
is
mode.
so hard.
Yes, no, it's a
tough game.
Beautiful game though. They did a
Unreal.
great job with that. We also got Did you get the new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe?
I didn't.
on
I
Switch?
saw your review on it.
Yeah,
You liked it.
I did. Yeah, it's super fun, but
Yeah.
it came out and it was a little bit less of a like, wow, this is a brand new Mario type of experience.
I kind of just passed on it because I feel I played it on the Wii U,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
I've been there, done that. It's a cool game if you haven't played it.
Yes.
But if you have, what's the
The game that we all want, right? Every Switch owner out there is Mario Maker. Like that. That is the game.
I got one
that
better.
definitely
I
needs
got
to
one
be
better.
in there. Okay.
Zelda Maker.
Zelda Maker.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
They got to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a 2D version and a 3D version.
Why don't we run Nintendo? Let's.
We might be out of business in a week. We have all these dream projects that don't go anywhere. That would be too crazy.
So we had Mario and we had Resident Evil, and then Ace Combat 7 was out there as well.
Did you do the VR?
I played the VR. It was incredible.
So I have something to admit.
Yeah.
I was a little bit hungover when I played the VR for the first time.
Yes.
I mean, on the aircraft carrier taking off, and as soon as I launched off the aircraft carrier, I took a
No
took it off.
way.
I'm like, no, I can't do this.
You need an air sickness.
Yeah, I was like, and I tried to do it a
That's
couple times,
fantastic.
and then I finally sat down the next day, not hungover, felt good. This is during it's after Christmas, after my during my birthday time, and I loved it. Just don't bank too fast
Yes,
in VR.
yes.
It gets crazy.
It's a beautiful game, but it's
Yeah.
crazy that we're playing these retro type of experiences, Resident Evil, Ace Combat, Mario, but the other big one that we've all been waiting for and we're going to talk about right now is Kingdom Hearts 3. You've been able to review the game. I've played it a nice healthy chunk of it, but I haven't really been able to sink tons of time because we've been in EP Live build mode. But the game is insanely beautiful.
Let's go back to the beginning for a second.
Yeah.
What did you think of the original Kingdom
I
Hearts?
loved it, but
Yeah.
I definitely, I think I can't remember exactly what I said, but I feel like the story lost me as I was playing it.
Yeah.
But I still loved it. I love the game design. I love the accessibility. I love the action RPG elements and all the Disney love that the
with
game
Square combined.
has.
All
was
these worlds. Yeah,
a great tactical concept.
that could have failed.
It could have been, yes.
Could have been a disaster.
And even though it is messy, it was still really, really fun and
Yeah.
really cool. And then, we've got a good one with Kingdom Hearts 2, and then there's been all of these offshoot games.
I think it's like 12 games.
Yeah.
There's some guy in the chat right now is going, actually,
Yeah.
because there's just too much to keep up
Yes,
with.
yeah.
And but the one thing I will say about Kingdom Hearts 3,
Yeah.
and some people in my video, I did a review on it, went quite big,
Yeah.
were saying, no, you need to play the original games to enjoy this one. I don't think so. You might miss a lot of the story.
Yeah.
The story's really confusing for a lot of us anyways.
yes.
Just go in and just kind of try to enjoy it, have a bit of fun.
I tweeted about
Yeah.
how would you describe the story of Kingdom Hearts in one tweet, and I got some good replies.
What were some of the replies?
Lots of like can't, and it's good versus evil.
Impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some good feedback on that
Yeah.
one. It's very convoluted, and the problem that Kingdom Hearts 3 has, through my sort of perception of it, as much as it's beautiful and it's gorgeous and you get completely lost in these worlds, like you're in the Toy Story land and it feels like you're watching
That's
the film.
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
an amazing job. And I'll talk about all the great things, but one of the issues that they have is because we've had a 12-year wait for the sequel and there's been so much extra content built around Kingdom Hearts, they have tons of expository moments where they're giving you a lot of feedback and they're bringing up characters and they're saying this character is really this character now and this character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't remember that first character, let alone the new character that they became.
My wife came in and
Yeah.
she's like, it's like they're talking another language.
Yes.
The way they talk about hearts and the hearts are missing, and but the hearts are really gone. And
Yeah.
It's like, what is he really saying?
Yes.
And but there's some people out there who completely understand all of the story,
Well,
and
like-
I applaud those people.
That's
you know?
that's the game that they get lost in.
Yeah.
And there's certainly enough content in the game to get lost in, regardless of how much.
But you can
know
just
the
jump
story.
into it. You don't need to know all the story. You can just
Yeah.
go in and enjoy the gameplay and have a
Right.
bit of fun with that.
And this is my daughter Ruby's first Kingdom Hearts
she must
experience,
love it.
and so she, even though she's got she likes to play Lego. She doesn't want to get lost in video games all the time, which I appreciate. She's got a lot of other interests out there. So she was like, "No, I don't really want to play that with you, Dad." And then she saw some of it, and she's like, "Whoa!" And she came right over and sat down and got totally lost in the world. 'Cause
And
it's
isn't-
gorgeous.
isn't
I mean,
that-
there's
yeah.
Sora and Ratatouille. You know, it's kind of like a Smash Brothers esque RPG. It's
With
like
Disney
they take
brought
all
in.
of these weird ideas and
Universes and-
characters
yeah.
and just make it happen. And then there's like all these amazing mini games, like flying from planet to planet is just a cool little space.
I'm not a
shooter.
big fan of the gummy ship. I didn't
Yeah.
like it in the original. I just think it's. I understand
It's
what
extra.
it's extra and it's to link the worlds. I
Yeah.
get that as well. But
Yeah.
in the original game, I'm like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Because I'm enjoying this cool thing. I'm running around this awesome city, and then all of a sudden I'm in this like little polygon ship flying, and I'm like, is this?
And
yeah.
You got to admit, it's much better this time, though. It's
Way
way
better,
flashier.
way better, yeah. A lot
And they've
of
also
more
have the
gameplay
gummy
modes.
phone, so you can play little mini games on there, which are like old Nintendo Game and Watch games.
Yeah, just seeing the chipmunks come in and talking, and
Yeah.
it's like, and then I know my review. A lot of people kind of got on me about
Yeah.
this, but Mickey's voice. I know the actor passed away.
Yeah.
But boy, did they ever not get the right person for this role.
Yeah, and some of the, obviously it's scripted in Japan, and so some of the flavor and some of the dialogue just doesn't feel as, one-to-one authentic as you would get if you're watching a movie or a show.
It's its own
They've done
language,
an
yeah.
approximation, but then you also get weird things where Mickey has to talk about characters being dead and stuff like that too. And
There's a little bit of darkness in
yeah,
there
it's
for sure.
it's a little strange,
Yeah.
but it's just a tour de force. Like
Yeah,
it's
like,
such
look at this.
It's a
Brilliant.
beautiful, beautiful game.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things about this 12-year development deal. Oh, this is what I was going to talk about, these amusement park
Unreal.
sequences where you get into rides that you can actually remember from going to Disneyland. They're sort of fantasy, sort of eyesed up a little bit, but they look remarkable.
How they bring the theme parks
Yes.
into this and all the different worlds and Square. Like I remember being on forums years ago and people when the original Kingdom Hearts was going to be released.
Yeah.
And people were arguing, going, "This is a travesty." Disney and Square. Like how can this go together? And people were boycotting. Yeah, of course
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
Well, I'm boycotting this game. Well, they can keep boycotting it.
Yeah.
We'll all have fun with it. I played it. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the charm of it.
Me
and
too.
exactly what you said. Your daughter can play it. You can play it. And
Yep.
we can all play it. It's
What
very
I've
accessible.
played so far, I'd give it a 9. I think
9
it's
out of 10
insane.
for me as well.
Yeah,
For
All
sure,
right.
yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to play a little Kingdom Hearts 3. We have a little Let's Play in chat sequence. So I'll get caught up here on the chat a little bit. One of Abby Jameson's comments was, if there were more people up here, it would look like We Are the World. I thought that was a very good one.
That's how we should end the show with a big dance off here.
We
Yeah.
can't sing it though because the flags will come up. And you don't want to hear me sing "We Are the World," do you?
Not
okay.
particularly.
No. All right.
no.
Okay. All right. But why don't we have our guest come up and be our first live Let's Play and chat person? Johnny, why don't you sit here?
Oh, okay.
Okay. I've got to turn on the Xbox and we've got to do some.
How you doing?
Doing good. Hi, I'm Jason.
Live
Nice to meet you.
switching. Normally, we would have had another edited segment, like a review or something like that, that we would have been able to cut to, and I would have done all of this stuff off camera. But we had a lot of guests today, so we didn't do that. So I have to switch this up a little bit. right there.
It's fun to be up here, isn't it? It's a little bit different.
It is.
Yeah.
My dad's actually watching.
No way.
Yeah, I told him.
Hi,
this was
Dad.
happening.
Awesome.
Hey, Dad.
What's your name?
I'm Jason.
Jason, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
You also have better hair than me, and that has to stop right now. Okay.
Hey, I'm in the middle of all
right,
this, you know?
okay.
It's all right.
I'm in the middle of all this.
You'll have a
great
better
hair.
beard than I will ever have.
He's
Okay.
working on his.
All
I'm
right.
telling you, he's been trying to grow it for about 20 years.
Yes,
I've been trying for about 19.
That's- it comes. It'll
All
actually
right.
it'll
Okay.
show
we-
up eventually.
Kingdom Hearts on the screen there, and we're gonna have it. I think you have to watch it here, my friend. I'm sorry. So we'll go
It's
in
just
there.
in
There
real
you
time,
go.
isn't it?
There you go. Okay.
Gotta say that Giga's pretty impressive.
So we've got
Really?
the cast from Toy Story.
I like this Oramos.
They have the money. The actual actors that did the
Woody,
stuff
what
originally.
gives?
So
Are they
so-
back?
James Wooden came back.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. Blair Farrell is out there. We've got Diaz, Abby Jameson. Kingdom Hearts story confuses even.
All right, guys.
Hideo Kojima.
Today we teach those masked intruders who's boss.
Oh yeah.
Is everybody in
Okay,
position?
no problem.
Wait, hold on.
This is too loud there. There we go. Yeah, we're finding the balance in real time right there.
Not bad, Jay. This is not bad for our first show.
Right.
Everything's gone. Knock on
Yeah.
wood. Pretty damn good.
You can skip these.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can jump right into some hacking and slashing if you want to.
All right, cool.
There you go.
Sorry if you wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
Some guys out there, he's like, I was into that scene.
Let me see if I've got it. Oh, help me out on the chat and type in question in all caps so I can read that. Because I can't read all of
Do you
these.
have this game?
I do not. I remember growing up and seeing like Kingdom Hearts was a thing.
Yeah.
And saying like, oh, it's just Disney doing a weird
It's a
thing.
kid thing or something, right?
But
Yeah.
Then I looked it up a little while ago and I'm like, oh, this is actually very convoluted and kind of cool.
Yeah. I think that
So, do you want to tell us all the story of Kingdom Hearts, starting from the very first game? Go for it.
no mistakes either.
Put on the spot.
Goofy's in it, and
Donald Duck is there.
That's awesome. Ty Fish is saying, Vic, Blake, John, hope you guys had a great holiday and New Year's. We did. Thank you so much. Daniel Flago has a comment. Johnny!
Hey.
Jordan Cunningham, Vic, and Johnny, I just got the collector's edition of Resident Evil 2 on PS4 yesterday. Those are hard to get.
I have one. I picked it up from EB Games. I bought it day one. It's in my closet, though, now. I'm not opening it up.
Awesome.
It's a collector's thing for me.
Question, how long until Kingdom Hearts 4
Oh,
is
get outta
announced
here.
and actually released?
outta here.
Should we hit the start on the stopwatch right now? That shouldn't take
12
too long.
years.
12 years.
12
more
years will be
years,
out.
yes.
2030. Perfect answer. Yeah.
Paul Adamson saying, when can I book a TV hosting course at VFS taught by Victor Lucas? Let's get to 2 episodes of EP Live before we start thinking about that. What's the best and worst thing about Kingdom Hearts from D9000? Everything okay?
Crank the volume and give
A little bit more, okay? Okay, a little bit more like that. Okay, cool. Best and worst
Best
thing.
and worst. I think the gatekeepers, the people who are trying to say you can't get into the story
That
unless
sucks
you-
in any game.
that sucks in
Yeah.
any game, and
Yeah.
I try not to be like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the E series.
Yeah.
And there's like number 8 is out, number 9 is coming out.
Yeah.
Just go. You can play 8 without playing all the rest of them.
Just be happy
Play it.
people are playing the games that you
Yeah,
care about.
it's good.
You know, like we just saw Alita Battle Angel.
Yes.
It's not Battle Angel Alita, but you can mix the words any way you
It's
want.
all good.
But we just saw it, and one of the things that we say in the review is that we hope people go and see it because it's really true to the source material.
Very so
And
much
that's
so.
so much the case with comic books and video games and stuff. The entire business is huge, but some of these titles really just need love and support. So if you come in saying I'm a super fan and you're not enjoying this properly, you're kind of like making it a crappy experience for people that are supporting the thing that may
Yeah.
keep growing and you may get more of. Just let them love the things that they love.
You know what gets me the most is I put out a review on Kingdom Hearts, and it was a very positive review. That's how I felt about it. I still
Yeah.
feel about it to this day. What surprised me was some people coming in having to say how much they hated Kingdom Hearts. So they come
Yeah.
into a Kingdom Hearts review
They watch
to
the
leave
thing.
to watch it,
Yeah.
to leave a comment to say how much they disliked the game and the game was childish.
That's hilarious.
But they were there.
That's hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah.
actually in Alita Battle Angel, there's that one guy. He's on that motorcycle.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I actually
Hugo.
I worked with him on an old TV show he was on a couple
Oh,
years
wow.
ago. Yeah,
And so he just hit it big with this role.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh,
I was
wow.
watching the trailer. I was like, hey, I know that guy.
That's cool.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He was really
He was
solid.
good as Hugo. He's really good.
Okay, we've got a question from. I haven't seen this Hobbs and Shaw trailer. Have not seen that
I
yet.
saw it.
Oh, great. All right. Tell us
Okay.
about it.
That looks awesome.
Well, hey, what is it about?
Okay,
then?
so okay, here you play while
Okay.
I,
All
while I
right.
This is my show now. All right. So essentially, what Hobbs and Shaw is, it takes place in the Fast and Furious universe,
Yep.
and it's Dwayne Johnson's character and Jason Statham's character.
Yeah.
They just come together to fight Idris Elba,
Oh, interesting.
All right.
and it's a Fast and Furious movie, so
So
it's-
you're greenlit.
Yeah.
You just say that. You put the actors in,
Yeah.
and you got millions of dollars to make your movie.
Exactly.
It's done. It's happening.
And it looks fun. It looks fun.
Thank you for your review.
All good.
Game Freak.
That sounds good, though.
It
Yeah.
does.
Game Freak 84 wants to know the best and worst game we played over the break.
Over the break during
Yeah.
Christmas time?
Yeah.
Probably Red Dead was up there as one of the better ones.
You kept playing, got deeper and deeper into it.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think. That seems like when it's 2018 seems like a long time ago now in
Yes.
video game land.
Yes.
Especially that we got Resident Evil and Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I've been so involved in that.
You know, I got obsessed, and I was putting Instagram posts and stuff about this, but the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis superhero games, because I love Spider-Man so much and won our Game of the Year
Yeah, you were
last
going
year.
kind of crazy with
I
those.
went a bit nuts, and I wish I had a camera on me when I was buying some of these things, because I was meeting people. I was taking the SkyTrain all over the city
Yeah.
in Vancouver, and I was going to meet people, and I would give them cash, and they would give me little packets, little paper bags filled with cartridges, and it felt like a drug deal. It was a really weird thing. I was like, oh, here you go, and it was always. There was middle-aged guys making
You felt
these
like shady
transactions.
things. Like, here's some money.
Yeah.
Give me the cards.
But I ran into this 20-year-old kid who was buying a Kirby's Dream Course on a cartridge from the same guy that I was buying something, and I was just like, wow, man.
Yeah.
This whole collecting phenomenon has become a huge, huge thing. And it was a big education for me, because obviously I have a huge collection already.
Yeah.
But I wanted to fill in some gaps, because there were
That
some...
was so interesting. You really got obsessed with getting
Yeah.
some of the. Why didn't you get them back then? Why'd you?
You know what? That was right when I started to think about Electric Playground, and I started to think about what the future of the medium was going to be. So it was really thinking about the Sony PlayStation and 3D gaming. And I had the Genesis and the SNES, and I had a good library for both of those machines. But
Yeah.
I was starting to think about what was coming up, and that's when all the game companies started working with EP, and we started to get all the review codes and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
they were also more focused on the hot new, the PlayStation.
And this is out of curiosity here.
Yeah.
You bought the carts and not like the full games. You just wanted to get the game. You
Yeah,
weren't
I
worried
wanted to
about,
play the
You weren't
games.
worried about the packaging and
Yeah.
all that. I'm really funny. When I get a game, I need to have the full
No,
deal.
it's so
Yeah.
expensive. I mean, that's what
I
I'm
know,
recognizing.
and that's why I don't buy too many these
Yeah.
days. Thank God I got them all back in the day.
Yeah.
Buying Earthbound the day it was released.
There were some really fun discoveries though, like Spider-Man on the Genesis was terrific.
Yeah.
And, Sega published some great X-Men games, and I played Maximum Carnage for the first time.
Yeah.
There's some fun stuff. Blair Farrell, I'll have to set up a game share for you. I just got Catwoman on the Game Boy Color. Blair Farrell is a huge superhero video game fanatic as well. He gets my obsession. We've got KFXG. What games are you most looking forward to in 2019? What are you most looking forward to?
They've already come out.
Really?
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
yours
The new-
done?
No, like
Yeah.
for Nintendo, obviously the new Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
It's called Three Houses. And then obviously the new Pokemon game, the RPG coming out later on.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think. You put me on
Such
the
a
spot.
huge shocker with
Mortal Kombat
Metroid.
11.
Mortal
No,
Kombat
no,
11.
is it
Great
11?
choice. Yes,
Yeah.
it is 11. Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be great as
That's
well.
coming up quick.
More senseless violence. I
Yeah.
love it.
I
love it.
I'm fired up for, speaking of senseless violence, I'm fired up for Rage 2. I think that looks like a blast.
Yeah?
I got some hands-on time not too long ago. Rage 2 looks great. And I really want to play Death Stranding, and I really want to play
Oh my- I forgot all about Death
Days Gone.
Stranding.
Days Gone I want to play too.
Are we
Yeah.
actually going to get Death Stranding this year? Is it possible?
I think we are, and I
No.
think we might get Cyberpunk this year. But I think they might do
My
a sort of a split release, so it comes out on the PlayStation 5 at the same. Actually, everything that's coming out this year and next year will also be on the new machines.
Right, so
Yeah.
they'll get updated ports.
Yeah.
Better. That's what I was thinking
Yes.
too for the end of this generation.
Yeah, we might even get Kingdom Hearts 3 on the next. Like these things are such huge investments, right?
They want to get their money out of it.
Yeah.
Investing so much.
I know we're going to get a Red Dead 2 that's upgraded for the next machines.
Oh yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Running at 4K and 60 frames per second. Rowan said, Vic, are you going to play the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake? Probably not. Unless is it a
It's not an
Nintendo official thing? No.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah,
as
I
of
don't.
to now.
I don't really have time to just I might pick it up and just sample it, but I don't think I have the time to review
It's
it.
like a fan game?
It must be.
Fan updated version of it? That'd be cool to see, though.
Excited for Days Gone and The Last of Us. That's Jordan Cunningham out there.
Yeah, The Last of Us. I forgot all about that, too.
Yeah.
Taz is saying, will VFS be where the E3 pressers will be streamed? Yes, they will. And I was supposed to call this out, but you can come and be a part of the audience anytime that you want to. We're at 390 West Hastings Street in Vancouver. It's part of the VFS campus. And the Vancouver Film School is actually in a bunch of different buildings, and you should make the effort one day to come and tour the facilities and check it all out because it's amazing. Do you go here?
I do go here.
Okay.
Nice.
Are you in the film
I'm
department?
in the acting department.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice.
I'm 2 months into the Essentials program.
Awesome. And it's like 1 year sort of deep dive, and then you're out into the world.
The Essentials program is 4 months.
Okay.
But then there's the acting for film and television, which is 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, and that's the amazing thing about the school is that there's all these different disciplines and all these different people coming through here.
You'd be in the next James Cameron film, right?
Yeah. That's
Please.
crazy.
Please. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
praying for you. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, Devil May Cry 5, Blair Farrell with another great shout out
definitely.
right there. Johnny, how you liking your PS Classic from Spidey 82? Putting a lot of time into your PlayStation Classic?
Yeah.
I saw your Walmart horror store.
Yeah, there's a little bit of something that went sideways. I did get my money back.
Yeah.
Walmart refunded me immediately
Oh,
from
really?
that
After that
video.
video? Oh,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Immediately. It's kind of funny, but to be honest with you, I played a little bit of it. I do like Wild Arms on it. I understand all the how bad the machine is in a lot of ways. Its shortcomings, I should say.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of games I do like on it. So I like playing Metal Gear on it. That's cool.
Awesome.
I
We've got
know.
an incredible question from Sam I Am 111. What should Disney do with the Star Wars license with their games? Should another publisher be given exclusivity, or
It's
should
time
they
for Star Wars to end.
go
No,
by a
I'm kidding.
game by game basis? This is a big deal. This is a big question out there. You know, EA has released 2 games so far in 4 years with the exclusivity, and they've canceled 2 huge things that we were expecting.
Star Wars 1313 was supposed to come out.
Well, that wasn't them. That
wasn't them. Either way, I want that game.
That was
I wanted that game back.
That was
as well.
LucasArts, and all that got disbanded when they closed that part of the company down,
Yeah.
which was a mistake. I was friends with tons of people at LucasArts, and they were really, really passionate. But I think the machinery was in motion for Lucas to sell to Disney, so that was one of the first things that they kind of started to tear down. But yeah, we have not seen EA really capitalize with this, and I think that Disney's probably not very happy about this whole relationship. And
Look at Battlefronts too. That was a terrible situation.
honestly, I feel like there should be an opportunity for developers to come out with smaller games. I mean, that's what they're doing now, right? They're rebooting the Vancouver stuff, and they want to get a game out next year. And we've got the Respawn game, the Star Wars game that's coming out this year. But I feel like Star Wars is a property that they could build like, and I tweeted this out too. It's like, why not just make Super The Force Awakens and Super The Last Jedi, like the old Super Nintendo games, but with all the new characters.
A bit of co-op and stuff like that. I mean, that's all they need to do. They don't have to go absolutely crazy.
Just have some fun with it and keep it vital and keep it sort of like a value, packed proposition for players.
It's been a rough few years for Star Wars in general. I think they're really trying to figure out what the road is.
Yeah.
For the movies, for the TV shows, and for the games coming up.
Yeah.
I think they're really sitting down at a big table saying, let's figure this out. Let's do this right this time.
Especially after Last Jedi.
Yeah, that was a polarizing movie.
Yeah.
We shan't end our show talking about The Last Jedi.
No.
That's all right.
But this is a big year for Star Wars because the Disney Plus streaming service is coming, and the Mandalorian is coming out, and
Episode 9 is coming out at the end of the year.
The Cassian Andor thing. They're opening Star Wars.
Your favorite Star Wars character, Cassian Andor,
I
right
like,
there.
I like
You love
Cassian Andor.
Andor.
I do like him, and I loved Rogue One. I thought that was amazing. So, I would love for EA to pull out of this nosedive that it's been in and come up with an amazing solution. And this is their year to show us what that is. Maybe the Respawn game is what's going to blow us all away. I really hope Titanfall 3 has not been axed in favor of Star Wars.
That was such a good game, such an underappreciated game.
Titanfall 2,
yeah,
incredible.
It was great.
Yeah.
That one-player mode was awesome.
Yes. Do we think next-gen consoles are going to go 100% digital? An excellent question from KFXG. Maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
We don't think so,
yeah.
Vic.
Well,
we don't think so.
I'll tell you what may push that answer is how GameStop pulls out of its current situation, right? They just took the they were going to sell the GameStop stores to another buyer, but they pulled out of that, and so they're trying to figure out how to sort of right their ship. If they can't, and they do something like what happened with Toys R Us, that's going to make it much more compelling for the console makers to go in a
Amazon has
space.
really taken over that space. Amazon is the real big player now.
Yeah, that's true.
I order so many games from Amazon.
Right.
Boom. I don't
Yeah.
go to EB Games.
Right.
Maybe for a special edition. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's the only reason why.
You know what they might do? They might do a digital-only flavor, which is $100 cheaper. You know, like you spend less to get a
Look
digital.
what happened
only
last
machine.
time that all happened. There's a huge falling out.
Yeah.
When they said, remember the
Listen,
Xbox has to be
I don't
plugged
want
in?
that.
Yeah.
I love the idea of physical media, of
course.
but I also love the accessibility and the ease of use of digital media as well.
Yeah.
But I think if the game companies that are making these new hardware platforms say, look, we're going to give you lots of reasons why this lower price digital only version of our machine is worth your attention and money, they might have some real success with that, especially if they commit to backwards compatibility and you'll never lose your files, and they make it a guarantee, or you can back them up or something like that.
Yeah, but for how long? That's the problem. Is it going to be for 5 years, 10 years, and then all of a sudden all my games disappear
I don't know.
into vaporware?
Well, like we just saw the closing of the Wii store and all those WiiWare titles.
That was so sad.
That's all gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
a lot of
you
people
think
were in there buying the last games, trying to
yeah.
get that last thing.
Great questions today, guys. And if anybody in the audience has a question, shoot it our way. But Gamer Freak says, do you think Sony not being at E3 is weird? What do you think Microsoft is going to do? I think it's incredibly weird that Sony's not
So
gonna be
weird.
there. Yep.
But after the backlash they got for their conference last year, can you blame them?
Yep. You know you're going to be a giant robot.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And anytime they give you a chance to be a giant robot, you want to be there. Sony not being at E3 is bad for the whole business. It's good for Sony because they're going to take all of the attention when they are going to announce PlayStation 5, and they're going to own that whole space in the world, and it would have to be kind of shared space at E3. But it's bad for the business because the idea of collecting the world's eyeballs on this
Into
medium,
one place, and it's all falling apart now.
yeah, and I've seen that. I mean, I've been to every E3. This is the first E3 that I'm going to be going to where Sony isn't a part of it. And Sony was the huge news at the very first E3, so it's very strange for me to just see them go, we're out.
It takes the weight off E3. E3 is not as important as it used to
and
be.
we saw E3 scale right down to like virtually nothing, just like a bunch of different hotel
It's a big
lounges and
expense
stuff.
for these companies.
It is, and that's part of the big reason for this. Like the convention center and the ESA, the company that puts on E3, they have to charge these companies so much money, like millions and millions of dollars for these booths and these parties and these events. So you can get the understanding, you can see the business case, but yeah, it's really disconcerting. It's almost like people pulling out of like the New York Film Festival or the showbiz thing that happens in Vegas, or the theater projection thing or the Cannes Film Festival, and their studios just saying, no, we don't believe in that anymore, and we're going to pull out of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like games still need to do a lot more to get more attention out there. As a medium.
E3 was a big deal thing, man.
Yeah, totally.
And just this time going into it, I'm not as excited at all. I'm like a little deflated now.
Yeah, and it's partially by the lack of commitment from companies.
That's right.
Like EA not being there, and Activision sort of
Nintendo
half
does their
in,
own
half
thing,
out.
type of thing.
Nintendo does their own video thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, this gives Nintendo and Xbox a real shot at making a ton of noise to counter what Sony's going to do. I think Xbox is going to have a real problem if Sony drops the PlayStation 5 this year and Xbox isn't ready this year. If they beat them to the punch again, I think they're going to have a real
When you think about
problem.
the Xbox One X just came out, it just feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, E3 isn't what it used to be. No, that's a popular opinion, Josh. Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling that it is a shadow of its former self. Who threw the best E3 is from D9000.
Back in the old days, I'd say Nintendo with Reggie on stage. You were there, right? What was that like?
Those were awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember Miyamoto coming out to talk about Zelda, or Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64.
And he brought out the sword
Yeah.
and shield. It was
Those-
legendary.
Those were amazing days.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
the first party that I went to at E3 was the Sony PlayStation party on the Sony Pictures lot and Michael Jackson was there walking around, and I don't know. It was surreal. There was just famous people all over the damn place.
Did you see George Lucas was walking by?
I met George Lucas at the first E3, and that was before the show was on TV. That was just,
Didn't you just go up and say, "Hey, my last name is Lucas"?
I
as
did,
well?
yeah, and I gave him my business card, and it's like,
funny.
okay, you're really bugging me, kid.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was great. Do you think there will be a big graphical change between this gen and next gen consoles? Gamer Freak 84. I don't think so. I think we are going to see a 4K resolution sort of across the board. And
Frame rates will hopefully be
get
60 frames all the
per
time.
second. Yeah. You know, we'll probably get ray tracing, like a lot of the stuff that NVIDIA's throwing into their latest graphics cards right now. So you'll see a lot of real-time reflections on eyeballs and things like that. There's going to be more detail, but I think the leaps, like between the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3.
You're not going to see the jump anymore. Well, remember, going from the Super Nintendo and then also the N64. You're not going to see that jump
Even
anymore.
last gen to this current gen wasn't that massive, right?
It's so subtle.
Yeah.
now.
You
compared
play
to the
Last of
past.
Us on the PlayStation 3 and you play Last of Us on PlayStation 4. You can kind of, I mean, definitely there's improvements.
PS3 one still looks good, though.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Well,
yeah.
look at the Switch. It comes out, it's a 1080p machine, and those games still look great. You know, that's, for all intents and purposes, a lot of last generation tech, but it still looks amazing. Abby Jameson, do you think there will be a Nintendo Direct soon?
There's rumors of it. There's a million people out there making videos talking about all the rumors of the next Nintendo Direct.
That's
what people do nowadays.
People
They
have
just-
careers talking about
the
there
advertise-
may be a Nintendo Direct.
There may be, and this is what I think may be at that.
Yes.
You know, I mean, this is what they probably will be talking
I
about.
don't think
What do
anybody-
you think of videos like that? All the rumor ones these days.
There's a lot of them. They've just become the norm. It's like, this might happen.
Yeah.
This has been rumored. This will or will not happen. I'm getting tired of it.
It's all about the potential hype rather than any
Yeah.
factual information.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
It's-
yeah.
It's just a lot of questions that remain unanswered.
Rumor mill.
Adrian Leon saying that maybe Nintendo could announce a new Switch model at E3. Maybe.
There's a rumor of that as
Yeah.
well right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like a mini that you can't, that doesn't have a dock or anything. You just
Yes.
take it on the portable mode.
Yes.
That's just rumor again.
Yes.
Probably gonna stay that way.
Yeah. I'll make a video about it when I go home.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments or anything from the audience? Yeah, go for it. The worst game I've ever played. What's your name? Josh is asking the worst game I've ever played. The one I always think of is Bill Laimbeer Combat Basketball, and nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about. It's a Super Nintendo game where it was top down, and they, you know, I loved NBA game. I still love NBA. I just don't have time to watch the games live anymore. But I loved the NBA when that came out, and the cover was awesome. I got totally screwed on the cover. But I bought the thing, and then it's top down, so it looked like a bunch of frogs sort of leaping from one lily pad to the next, and the punches, it was almost like that boxing game that used to be on the Atari 2600, another game nobody is going to know about, but yeah, I hated that game. What's the worst game you've ever played?
Oh God, a double dungeons, or say Dynamite Ducks. Dynamite Ducks is the worst thing
All
in
right.
the history of humanity.
Worst game I ever played. It's pretty recent. It was Godzilla for the PS4.
Oh yeah,
It was-
some people like that, which was
I
strange.
don't know why. I tried to play it. My parents went out somewhere. They're like, Jason, we bought you a video game to keep you busy. I was busy for about 30 minutes before I changed to a
Did they
different
not
game.
like you or
Thank
something?
I'm sure he, be careful. He's watching it. I love you, Dad.
Thanks for Godzilla.
Thanks for Godzilla.
Dad.
Apparently your dad did not watch reviews on the run. And
No, apparently not.
yeah, 'cause
Get to it, Dad.
Yeah,
What was it? Was just the gameplay was so bad?
It was
Yeah,
just
so it's
very clunky and just not good.
not fun.
No, not
Yeah.
really. Like, and he moved so slowly.
The Ren 2 says it's time for X-Wing versus TIE Fighter 2. I would agree with that. More space combat experiences. In VR, please.
Yes,
preferably. Okay, is Resident Evil 2 going to outsell Kingdom Hearts 3? I don't think so. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 has got...
I think
Yeah.
I would like to see them both do well.
I think
You know?
RE2 might do better at launch, but Kingdom Hearts 3 will keep people happy for a long, 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 long time. Plus,
I think I think so.
It's for every age demographic.
That's what
Yeah.
that's exactly the reason
And
why.
you know,
Yeah.
parents are playing with kids and all that stuff. Bleach Shattered Blade on the Wii. It sucks. That's from Nintendo Boy 17. That's awesome. Okay, I think that's pretty good for a first show. What do you think, you guys? Did you have a good time? Yes. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in and everybody that sent out their shows of support out there. Really appreciate that. Thanks again to Tavis Dunn and to Rich Grundy and to Steve Royeux from the Vancouver Film School, and to Jamie and Greg and everybody that's helped us kind of build and get all of this stuff together, and all of the staff here, Mariel and all the staff here at the VFS Cafe for putting up with us as we learned some of the ropes for getting together here. Thank you, Johnny, for being here on the
Absolutely.
first
Thanks for
show.
having me. Amazing set.
In our
Amazing
new
first
home.
show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. And thank you to my family who is here right now. Hello, love. There's my daughter and there's my wife. They've had to put up with me being a little, anxious about this and apprehensive. And you know what? I'm just super proud and happy that we pulled this off, and thank you all for watching. We'll be back on Monday. We've got a great guest lined up. His name is Tarney Williams. Do some Googling. He's been in this industry forever, and he's going to have lots of fun things to talk about, and we'll have a lot of really fun things to talk about on Monday, 3 o'clock, right here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great weekend, and play forever.
Good first show.